Okay, I don't want you guys to overreact to this title, and I don't expect this video will be very long. I wanted to make a sort of addendum to my USF4 Elena video in appreciation of the gameplay design of SF6 Elena. Most people had either no exposure to this character, or only her most recent appearance, which was that USF4 version where she was extremely disliked. I want to take a look at the changes to her kit, and how they fixed a lot of the issues people had with her while keeping her fundamental gameplay concept intact. I mentioned in the bad balance video, but all of Elena's normals are kicks. And in Street Fighter 3 and 4, most of her crouching normals are kicks which seem to attack the opponent's legs or feet. As a rule of thumb, most crouching kicks must be blocked low in Street Fighter, so even though Elena's crouching light punch and medium punch are mids, a lot of people would block low much more than they needed to against her, which would open them up to her fast overheads. In 6, a few of her animations have been changed, most notably her crouching punches, which all attack the opponent's midsection. I don't think anyone is going to mistake these normals for attacks which hit low anymore. Elena has classically had two meterless overheads. There's a slower one with better frame data on hit and block, and in 4 you can even combo out of it. And there's a faster one, which is unreactable, but it's difficult to combo out of even if it's counter hit or meaty. Having two different overhead animations to react to also just increases the mental stack on the opponent, even if the animations are similar. Elena's punch overhead is now just a poke, which doesn't hit overhead. As pokes go, it's not bad at all. It has fantastic range and a reactable target combo for a conversion. Keeping a fast overhead that you can combo out of on normal hit would be much too strong in the SF6 engine, since input leniency would make the link very easy. Meanwhile, her kick overhead has been normalized. It's now a much more reactable 20 frame startup compared to 12 frames in SF3 and SF4. It's still fast enough that you can sneak it in. And like most normal overheads, you get great returns if you can land it from a drive rush. You now have a target combo out of it, which gives you a conversion even if you spend no resources. It's hard to confirm unless you see it's going to be a whiff punish, but having it does make Elena's overhead presence a bit better than most characters. She actually has a corresponding new target combo out of low-medium kick. Again, you can't confirm it except via range or whiff punish, but it does give her a nice damaging conversion out of a low. The second hit won't hit crouching opponents at all, which also means you can't make it safe with a special cancel or drive rush, so it's very double-edged. But I see the vision here. Elena's got unsafe conversions from an overhead poke and unsafe conversions from a low poke. She gets to keep her overhead low mix-up that was her signature in previous games, and you can either not cancel to stay safe, or risk a punish for higher damage. It's very similar to her -5 EX overhead or punishable Link's Tail in SF4. Even though both of those special moves are functionally gone, she keeps the spirit. On that note, Elena's got a number of changes to normalize her in general. She lacked a cancelable heavy normal entirely in SF3, and in SF4 it's on the very awkward standing hard punch, which is both extremely slow and fully duckable. But now she can cancel her crouch heavy punch, which before now was only used as the occasional anti-air. Having a good cancelable heavy normal gives her realistic ways to land things like her heavy spin scythe or heavy rhino horn, which were nearly useless in previous games. Elena's slide was previously extremely dominant at shutting down fireballs, especially slow fireballs, which are usually supposed to be the best ones. As a result, many characters like Guile or Rose had extremely difficult matchups against her. Now, Elena's fireball immunity is just gone from her slide. A little bit, I think this is too far in the opposite direction, but it's still a good approaching normal when spaced, and still gives her much improved mid-screen presence. In the engine of 6, they were very cautious about where they put fireball invincibility, since all characters start every round with full EX meter. Easy ways to shut down fireballs would make fireball characters too underpowered. Elena keeps a meterless answer to fireballs, but it's much more muted and fair. She has a new special move where she can roll through them. For a reasonable chance at punishing a fireball, you must roll through it predictively and from moderately close. But at these ranges, the roll follow-up is reasonably safe, so there's not too much risk. The opponent can attempt to hit your rolls if they don't fireball, so overall there's way more play on both sides than when Elena was just punishing fireballs on reaction every time. Of course, Elena does still have a great way to shut down fireballs on reaction, being her SA2, but that's quite expensive and your opponent will know when you have it. Again, it's very fair for both players. Elena's special moves have been consolidated somewhat. Link's Tail is simply gone. Mallet Smash has been relegated to a follow-up from her roll. Previously, EX Mallet Smash was a 15-frame unreactable overhead which could be used in neutral and led to point-blank combos and potentially healing afterward. It was one of the most hated parts of her kit. Now it's 22 frame startup, and that's not even counting the roll you have to do first. It's still really good, but much more useful for dodging attacks than for being an overhead. To compensate for its slow startup, it's now always safe. The EX version is actually +3 on block, and gives a combo even on normal hit. I can feel the devs were really between a rock and a hard place with healing. On one hand, it's definitely Elena's signature, and one of the most unique supers in the series. On the other hand, it was the most disliked thing in all of SF4, even more than Vanilla Sagat or Arcade Edition Yun. It's important to remember that healing really was just a perfect storm of bad design in 4. For one thing, they obviously wanted ultras to be restrictive to combo into for most of the cast. You can't just cancel into them, so most characters need to spend resources to set up a juggle. But healing is special in that the only setup is just finding enough time to do it. All sweeps and all throws are hard knockdowns in SF4, so Elena could find free ultra setups everywhere. Including off of literally any combo. Also, you gained ultra meter by losing health. Healing gives you more total health, so it also gives you more total ultra meter, which is why you often saw healing 2 or even 3 times a round. Additionally, your ultra meter resets every round, so you're really encouraged to use it anytime you get a chance. The implementation of healing in SF6 is hilariously timid. First of all, it's not even a move you can just do, it's instead an alternate ender for your Super 2. You lose 850 damage before scaling, but recover 13% of your life bar. So technically, assuming you're wounded, the gap between your life bar and your opponent's will be bigger doing the healing ending, especially in a combo because it doesn't scale. There's 2 layers of opportunity cost to healing. First of all, the fundamental objective of the game is to deplete your opponent's HP, so it's almost always better just to use the damage ender. Second, the meter tied to using the super is the same bar you use for your level 1 and level 3, and since your super meter doesn't reset between rounds, every healing you do directly affects your ability to land other high damage combos. And Elena gets huge returns for 1 bar in this game. And, since it's tied to your Super 2, you can't just do it off of any knockdown anymore. In fact, it confirms just like every other level 2 super in the game. Combined with the relatively small heal, and it's obvious the devs were very cautious to make a healing super that no one could complain about. In my experience, it's most useful in rounds when you're trying to avoid a chip KO. That's pretty much all I've got to say here. Obviously her new special moves alter her combo routes, which breathes a lot of new life into her, but this isn't really a video about that, just a video about how they took a lot of her disfavored tools and made them more agreeable while keeping her game feel intact. Thanks for watching.